In this video, we're going to discuss the Pathfinder tool in Adobe Illustrator. And you'll notice it's very similar to the Shape Builder tool. And the Pathfinder tools are housed in a panel. It's not really a tool from your tool panel. It's got its own panel, and it's under Window, Pathfinder. And you'll find on the website a bunch of explanations for what each one of these little buttons do. But I think it's easier to show you. So we're going to go over to Illustrator and do a little demonstration. So I'm going to grab this little shape here, and you see it looks like a blue donut or inner tube on a green square. But if I change the color of this square, you'll see it's not actually a donut. It's circles on top of one another. So we're going to use Pathfinder to make this an actual hole inside this blue shape. So we're going to go to Window, down to Pathfinder, and you'll see you have shape modes across the top and Pathfinders across the bottom. And if you hover over these, it'll give you like a heads-up display telling you what each one does, and it gives you a little kind of preview, which may or may not make sense right away. So what we're going to use for this is we're going to select the two circles, and we're going to use the second one on the top. It's called minus front. So it's going to subtract the front shape from the back shape. So drag it over here so you can see what's happening. So I'm going to click that once. You'll see it punches a hole in our blue circle. So now it's an actual hole and not just a bunch of shapes on top of one another. Now while I'm here, I'm going to select the blue shape and the red shape and click the Unite button. And you'll see it just merges all the shapes. I'm going to undo that, drag this out here, and do it again. You see what it does? Merges it into one shape. So that's merge or unite, minus front, and now we'll talk about some of the other ones. But these first two you'll probably use quite a bit. Drag our little octopus guy up here maybe. Actually, let's do the key. Do the key next. So we want to make this an actual key shape. Right now it's just rectangles and circles. So we got a white circle, and we got some yellow rectangles and yellow circles. So first, to use the Pathfinder, you want to select just the shapes you want to affect. So I'm going to select these yellow circles, merge them together, and I see I got a little imperfection here. I'm just going to put another circle on there. Select these, merge them together, and when I merge this together, it makes a new shape, so it puts it on the top in the layer stack. So I need to send this to the back, object arrange, send to back. Now I can merge this shape with all these rectangles using Unite, send it to the back. Now I want to punch this hole in the key, so it's an actual hole. I'll actually put a color behind it so you can see what's going on. So I'm just going to select the white circle, shift key, and select the yellow key, and hit minus, and it punches a hole in the key. So only select the objects you want to affect. So what would happen if I select this, and actually I'm going to drag it off a little bit, select these two, and let's do intersect. Intersect, if we go to the website, intersect deletes everything that does not overlap and combines the rest of the shape into a single shape. So let's see what that means. So if I click that, you see it gets rid of everything that's not overlapping. And the opposite of that would be exclude. That's going to get rid of whatever is overlapping. So you get kind of a cool effect using that. So that's intersect and exclude. So we're done with that one. Let's do this apple. So I got a bunch of ovals here that we're going to make into an apple. I select the two red shapes, unite. Then I want to select these three white shapes. Zoom in. Merge those together. And then I'm going to hold down the shift key, select the apple, and we're going to minus front to put the little bite in there. And if you remember our pen tool lesson, I'm going to grab the anchor point conversion tool, make that into a point. You can make that into like a little leaf. And we haven't gone over the warp tools yet, but I'm going to go to Effect, Warp, Arc, and Vertical. Put a little curve in our stem here. And that's kind of our apple. So you can see some uses for Pathfinder. Get rid of this. Now we have this octopus. And if I drag the octopus off, it looks fine. But if you're going to place this onto a colored background, you can see it's just some tinted circles on top of our octopus shape. So we're going to use a different tool. I'm going to show you a keyboard shortcut here. I'm going to select the square. And I want to deselect the square, but select everything else. So I'm going to hold down Option and Shift on the keyboard. And then click and drag. And it's going to deselect the square and select everything else. And I'm going to use a Pathfinder for this. So I'm going to use Divide. Divide is going to cut everything into pieces based on their paths. So it's going to cut this circle into two pieces, this circle into two pieces, and so on. So I'm going to hit Divide. And it also groups it. So I want to ungroup it. I'm going to go to Object, Ungroup. And now you'll see what it did. So it broke all these little pieces off. So we can delete these and make it look like our kind of abstract octopus. So, quick way to illustrate using Pathfinder. Now we're going to do some sort of optical illusion. So I want to make it look like this red rounded rectangle is sinking into this hole. This is going to be like a hole. So I'm going to select both. I'm going to use Divide again. So Divide, Object, Ungroup. And I just want to delete this little piece I created at the bottom. And then I'm going to merge these back together. And it looks like it's kind of sliding down into that hole there, which is kind of cool. It'd be very difficult to try and trace that with the pen tool and create this shape. So using Pathfinder is the way to go. And you can use this when you're illustrating, like if you're making a tree or something, using the oval tool or a cloud, merge it together, make the top of the tree. And I think this was like a dumbbell, just another merge. But you can do this also with Shape Builder too. So Shape Builder is kind of a more intuitive way to do it. You can click and drag, merge things together. And hopefully you remember that from our hot air balloon lesson. But we'll go further into Shape Builder in another lesson. So now we got this guy. This is a bunch of rectangles, but underneath there you see there's a word hiding under there. But right now the word is editable text, so I can go in here, I can select it, and I can change the word. So it won't work with Pathfinder until I convert it to outlines. So I'm going to convert this to artwork by going to Type. You have to have it selected with the arrow tool, not the Type tool, for this to work. So go to Type, Create Outlines, and it transforms that type from editable type to shapes. Now it'll be recognized by Pathfinder. So go in here, select everything. I'm going to do Divide, Ungroup, and I'm going to delete some of these extra pieces I don't want. Zoom in so I can see what's going on. Wherever the paths are overlapping in pieces. So, and I deleted everything. But once you get it all done, you can kind of break this apart a little bit. Make your type a little more interesting looking. Shattered looking, like the word says. So, Pathfinder can be used with type if you convert it to outlines first. So I'm not going to spend any more time on this, but you get the idea. You can pull it apart, make it look kind of cool. Let's see, what else do we have? I think this might be the last one we'll do. So I got this letter P. Ooh, I think I want it to kind of look like it's going through. I'm going to create an optical illusion again. See if I remember how to do this one. So first I want to punch this oval out of the other oval to make it look like a ring. So I'm going to select these two, punch a hole in it. And now if I select these two objects and I use divide, ungroup, now I can select these shapes here. Let me zoom in and make them all red. Now it looks like that P is kind of going through the hoop. So some tricks you can use Pathfinder for to create depth, the illusion of depth. So that's Pathfinder. So give it a try. I'm going to give you guys something in Classroom to try this out with. So if you go into your Google Classroom, I'm going to post it in a minute. So you can download it and try to recreate the shapes I gave you. It's like a worksheet for Pathfinder. So give it a try and see how you do.